A natural hair journal can be a super valuable piece of encouragement for you on your journey. Whenever I started my journey, I got one notepad together and I filled it up with all the information that I needed to be successful. And I'm a paper junkie, so every year whenever it's school supply time, I always go to the store and I stack up on notepads and pens and everything, and I do that even though I'm not in school. So some of my friends are the same way, and they love school supplies, they love note cards and things like that. So they're always looking for a reason to give a journal, and that's why at Christmas time, a lot of times I'll just buy a ton of journals and give them to some of my closest friends. So whenever you're on your natural hair journey, you may want to have a journal. And one good reason you want a journal is because it's a great place to record questions that you have. You may be thinking, who am I going to ask these questions to? Well, whenever you record them, whenever you find someone to ask the questions to, you can get the answers. So don't just rely on your memory to find out the questions that you want. Just write them down. That's where you put that all in your natural hair journal. You also may want to record what products and processes you've been doing. So that's what I did. Every time I would find out about a new product or a process and then I would try it, I would just write that down and record it in my journal. So I was able to look back over the course of months and say, hey, I already tried something just like that, and this did that, and it didn't do this. And so it was a really great place to put that. Another thing that I put in my journal was the results that I got. So it's really hard to remember what works and what doesn't. So I had a certain page that was like, okay, this is something that really works for my hair, and this is something that completely bombed on my hair. And so my journal, there I was, able to look back months later and years later and see exactly what worked and what didn't. Another thing was just encouragement. I would actually cut pictures of other girls' hair out of magazines, and then I would put it inside of my journal. And I'd say, Tony, whenever I'm done with this transition, this is what I want my hair to look like. This girl is natural and she's doing it and I want to do it too. So I would actually just cut pictures out of magazines or print them off the internet and put it in my journal. And so it was really great. And some of the things that I also put in my journal were things to share. I was like, this could be really encouraging to some people later, or somebody else who I knew. Like I had some friends who were asking me about going natural, and I was like, oh, I want to write that down because this isn't a big deal for my hair, but I want to tell them about it. So I just put everything in my journal. And so it's super important to have one location where you can put all those things. So a journal is a great thing to have. Now, guess what? We have written our book, and what we included inside of it was, at the end of every chapter, a place for you to record things that you've learned after each chapter, things that you want to share with other people, and questions that you still have. And so as you read along in our book, you will actually be able to have a journal, and you can tuck pictures in the back if you want to, treat it like a little pocket or something. Or now, where everybody has, smartphones and everything, you may just want to keep pictures on your phone. I didn't have a smartphone whenever I started my journey, so I was actually like cutting pictures out and stuff. I'm super old fashioned, and I would still do that anyway. But so with our book, you can learn from our book, you can record things in our book, and then you can also share things. So that's why we created the book just like that, so that you would have a really great resource. It's not just about sitting and reading. It's a living, breathing kind of tool for you to go ahead and learn and record and share with others. And so what I want to do is encourage you to pick up your copy of the book and get your copy if you don't already have it, and then start recording what you want to put in there and keep that as a good memory for your journey, because in a couple years you're going to look back like I have and be able to say, hey, this is where I started, this is what I've done, and this is where I've gotten to. And so I look forward to connecting with you, and if you want to find out more about these topics and more, connect with me on happyhairsecrets.com.